Tea break chat time again, folks. There's my Finding Nemo mug that says mine, 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 with all those crazy seagulls. Well, let's change the subject from that. This is one of our last tea break chats of the lockdown. I think we've got one more to do. I've got my tie on today because today we're back at work as the lockdown ends, and I've decided to put a tie on and dress smartly, and all the team are back and we're getting stuck in. But joining me on the line are two people from two businesses who have got long-standing heritage in the Tees Valley area. I've got Diane Boon, Commercial Operations Director at Cleveland Bridge, and also Rosie DeRose, who's the CEO of Beyond Housing, which looks after tens of thousands of houses in East Cleveland, Redcar, Cleveland, and on the Yorkshire coast. Welcome to you both. Have you both got some mugs of tea for the tea break chat?
Good morning. We certainly have.
Okay, and let's have a look at Rosie's. Oh, that's a very elegant. It looks like it's dogs.
It is. Most of the mugs in my house, Graham, are covered with dogs.
Yes, just like in my house. My wife has 3 Cavalier dogs, and it's all dogs, dogs, dogs. What about you, Diane?
I'm very floral today.
Very
I'm a
nice.
keen gardener, so it's all about flowers.
And a nice, elegant floral background as well. If you don't mind, we're going to start with Diane, because the theme of today's tea break chat is apprenticeships. It's obviously a danger in the recession that followed the pandemic that apprenticeships could suffer. And apprenticeships are very important to our economic future, to many of our companies' futures. How do you see the importance of apprenticeships, Diane, at Cleveland Bridge?
I think they're actually key critical. You're quite right, Graham. In every recession that's ever taken place, one of the first things that is cut is the training budget and the investment in people and the generations to come. And really, that's one of the worst things that can happen. As we come out of recession, what we find is we have skill shortages and skill gaps. Here at Cleveland Bridge, that's no different. We have quite, shall we say, a mature workforce. We have a mature workforce, and we have a highly skilled workforce, and that means it takes a long time to train people into their respective roles. So having robust apprenticeship schemes, having a consistent supply of young people coming through our organisation is vital for its future, and to keep the industry supplied with those what are becoming very rare skills these days.
Yes, if you consider young people leaving school, and I'm 57 next year, and I left school in Teesside in 1980 and went into a British Steel type apprenticeship, which was subsequently axed as a result of the recession in the early 80s. But there's so much choice now for a young person at school, and STEM subjects can go into all sorts of different disciplines, can't they?
We have such a plethora of tracks that they can go down these days, and we need to make sure our young people are informed about what core skills and knowledges they need, not necessarily to set them on a career path for life in one discipline, but to give them the platforms of choice that they need moving forward.
Now, just as a note, your business is now a long-term business of the Tees Valley, 150 years, some of the world's most iconic bridges. You could argue that your business is a traditional business that's still thriving.
It is a traditional business that's still thriving. However, it becomes more difficult year on year to keep it to that standard. The competition gets stronger. We have a lot of competition from overseas. And steel industry in general in the UK has been shrinking over the last decade. So it is difficult to keep that presence to that kind of level and standard. We have in the Northeast a reduction in the steel industry in general, which means you haven't got that pool of skill and talent to actually fish in anymore. So you have to ensure that you're creating your own talent pools of it, coming through the organisation year on year.
And I know, just as a note, you have 30 apprentices. So let's move on to Rosie. Okay. Rosie, I know you have 30 apprentices as well, but they do different things, don't they? Tell us about your apprentices and what they do.
Like Diane, I am keen to attract people from the communities that we work in knowing that they have the attitude and future talent for our organisations. And ultimately, as a business, we do many, many different things. To your point, it's just not one size fits all anymore. We're a big business that has many different skill sets within it, and we look for apprenticeships right across those skills and disciplines that we have in the organisation. So that can be anything from finance, management, IT, all the way through to our trades, which are absolutely critical to a business such as ours. And more, we're able to train people through that apprenticeship route in things like joinery, plumbing, electricians, gas fitters. These are all people that we need moving forward. So yes, we have 30 at the moment. We have 20 of those are in our trades, so that's the joinery, plumbing, etc., and 10 people that are more office based. And we've just started this year with higher level apprentices in management grades and information technology grades. So really exciting for us. And for me, having started school at 16, I didn't go through the apprenticeship route, but I knew how wonderful the world of work was. And I'm keen to sort of encourage people who are thinking of leaving school at 16, 18, or even after university to consider that apprenticeship route.
So you did the same thing. You actually left school at 16 like me and went into work. Great. Let's bring Diane on as well. Diane, did you have any experience like this, or did you go to university?
Absolutely. No, I didn't actually. And I find that really interesting because I left school at 16 too. I worked my way right the way through from being an office junior, as the apprenticeship schemes were informally called in those days, and just did all my qualifications and all my learning whilst working, and I found it invaluable. Of
course, and I'm not even going to guess your ages. I've told people mine, but it would be possible we are in a cohort of people who we are the majority of. Whereas maybe not the majority, but a significant number of younger people leaving school at 16 are encouraged not to go into apprenticeships and have other choices. Can I just ask you both this question? When I went into my apprenticeship at British Steel, it wasn't just about the health and safety and the metal bashing and so on. I also was suddenly learning or being forced to acquire life skills. Getting up in the morning, getting there, preparing my bait box, looking after myself. And those skills, the skills of work, the skills of life, came to me at that early age through the apprenticeship scheme as much as through home. Do you think that's important in what you're teaching?
I think it's very important. It is a big transition. I think our younger people are, shall we say, they're cosseted a little bit more these days, so they're not thrown out into the world as harshly as we were a few years back. So I think it is a big transition for them. We take them out of school and home environments, pop them into the work environment, and expect them to understand the behaviours that are required. And they don't always have them. They don't always understand them. It's not because they are not committed or enthusiastic or want to work hard. They just have some little habits that need to be tweaked for the work environment. So it's important that when our apprentices come on board, they have a skills matrix. That skills matrix is covering all kinds of things. It covers the technical skills, the core craft skills that they need to do the roles that we are educating them in. But it also brings into play behavioural requirements and social communication skills that are needed in the work environment. Last word on this, Rosie, because we're running out of time.
I think we are of a different generation, Graham, and I still believe today people want to follow that vocational route as much as they want to follow that academic route. Yeah. And I want people to know that the apprenticeship route is a really, really interesting way of following that skills development, following that route into work that gives you both the vocational side, the practical side, but allows you to study at the same time. And you get to earn a salary at the same time. What more could...
Absolutely. Diane, Rosie, thank you very much.